Hi, I'm Cheryl, and today I have a card using the Sharing Sweet Thoughts stamp set. And this is just a cute little card with the butterflies escaping from the jar. And think of those as those are our little wishes, and they're getting sent someone's way. And then on the inside just did happy birthday. We're going to do a little bit better than that on our card that I'm demoing today. So there's that. And this is what you'll need. You'll need a piece of soft sky cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. That's our card base. Then you'll need a piece of Whisper White, 4.5 by 3.5 for the card front. We'll keep that handy because we'll be using that. And then a piece 5 by 3 3/4. That's going to go on the inside of our card because I think that would look nicer than just stamping happy birthday. And this is the Sharing Sweet Thoughts stamp set. This is a wonderful stamp set. It's got the jar that's so popular now. It's got some strawberries to put in there, and hearts, and a ladybug, and butterflies, and 2 different jar options here, and a couple little sentiments, and a little branch, and I don't know what that is, grassy stuff maybe, I don't know. But it's a wonderful stamp set, and for every stamp set, one of these Sharing Sweet Thoughts stamp set that's sold, Stampin' Up! Donates $3 to the Ronald McDonald House charities. So that's a wonderful little bonus thing right there with the stamp set. And then from Butterfly Basics, just the happy birthday stamp from this one. So if you have another happy birthday you'd like to use, then you don't need this stamp set, but this is a pretty stamp set. I love this fern, and I've used that on a card I'll be putting up sometime, and the flower and whatever. So let's get moving on. You'll need an Aqua Painter. You'll need your Memento black ink. Pool Party. We need some Stampin Dimensionals because we're going to pop that card front up a little bit. We need some markers. This one is Melon Mambo, Daffodil Delight, and Emerald Envy are the markers we're using. And then this is, I'm going to be using these Nouveau crystal drops. These are glitter drops. And where have I been for the last year? These came out about a year ago, and I just found these, discovered these, whatever you want to call it, and oh my gosh, I love these. I want to put them on everything. They have ones that are just a gloss. It's like an enamel dot. So, and there are clear ones in different colors. There's just a perfectly crystal clear one that you can. Well, let me show you what I have here. So I tried some of these out on a piece of acetate because you can pop these off and glue them down. I'll probably just put mine right on the cards though. But yeah, these are the gloss ones. And then there's like the regular just crystal drops. They're pearlized. They have glitter ones. This is a glitter one. This is ruby slippers that I'll be using on this card. Then they have the jeweled drops, which are clear. And then the perfectly clear ones, I just did these earlier today. Oh, there's a little ant on here. Get out of here, ant. And they're not dry yet, so I don't want to touch them, but there's the little crystal drops. But then if you put those over ink, so I put some ink down there, and then I put them on, and now I have Tranquil Tide drops, so I can match my drops to my cards. Isn't that cool? Now those I would have to do on acetate or a silicone sheet or something like that, and peel them off and then glue them down. But I think that's pretty cool. But anyway, I love these drops. You'll be seeing them on cards in the future. So let's get started on this. I'm going to start out by stamping our jar in Pool Party. And let me ink that up. I'm going to put that down towards the bottom of this little card panel here. And there's that ant again. Oh, no more ant. And just tilt it up a little bit so that it's at a slight angle. Let me show you. See? So we have the jar of the mouth of the jar tilting up a little bit so that our butterflies can fly out better. And then with my Aqua Painter, I'm going to get a little ink on the palette part here. And with my Aqua Painter, I'm just going to shade the jar in a little bit. Let me get a little water flowing here. And we just want just a little touch of color. And start at the top here and go all the way down around the bottom. We need a little more color than that. Couldn't even see that. And then I'll turn this over and do the same thing. I'm going to start at the top, do a nice wide sweep, and then when I get to the bottom, I bring it out and just taper off to nothing. And that gives our jar some shape. I'll put a little more up here. Okay, so we did this first because we want to let that dry a bit. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to dry, let's stamp the happy birthday on for the inside part of the card. And we'll be using the Memento black ink. Let's ink that up. And this stamp, and let me ink it up and I'll show you. And this stamp, see, happy is this way, and then birthday kind of goes at an angle. So you want to line up happy. Happy is what you're going to be looking at to make that, to line that up with the top of your card. So we want happy lined up with the top, and we want it centered pretty much side to side, and we'll go 1, 2, 3, and perfect stamp. Well, almost anyway. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So we'll put that aside with the card base. And we can come back here now to this card. And since I have my Memento here, let's we'll stamp Sending Wishes Your Way. And we're going to put that here above our jar. And there we go. And then let's stamp our butterflies off to the side here. You might notice I cut my butterflies apart. I'm going to be using this one here separately inside the jar. If you don't want to cut your stamps, and a lot of people don't, I have no problem with it. But if you don't want to cut your stamps apart, what you would do when you stamp the butterfly inside the jar is take a piece of masking tape, put it over these butterflies, ink this one on your stamp pad. Carefully pull your tape off and then stamp. Then it'll be just this butterfly to go inside the jar. But like I said, I have no problems cutting my stamps. If it makes it better for me, and I think I'll be using them that way a lot, then I will do it. And there we go. Got the butterflies stamped. And I'll peel those off. I'll re-ink this one. And I want him so he's kind of heading out of the jar. And we're stamping where we did not watercolor. Okay? So where we stamped, it is not wet. But this part might be, yeah, that's still a little wet. So we're going to clean these up. Get that Memento ink off. The lid got away from me. I'm just so excited about the Nouveau drops. I can't even hold my hold the lid of my ink pad. So I'm gonna clean those off good. And I'm gonna use Pool Party to decorate the card base around the edges. So, I'm just using a spray bottle here. It's got a little bit of Castile soap in it and a tiny bit of glycerin and mostly water, and that's what I use to clean my stamps. So there's all kinds of wonderful stamp cleaners out there, but that's what I use. Okay, so I'm going to take this little guy off. I'll just leave these two on here. Your stamps are all attached, and just use all of them. But we're just going to fill this border. You can see here on this card, I have it just thick with butterflies, and they're overlapping, and it's just full of little butterfly impressions on there. It's hard to see with these rubber stamps where you're lining up. So I just went with it, and I said, you know, I'm just gonna stamp them where I please, and just fill it. Just fill it up. Oop, it starts slipping a little bit. And if they overlap, well, that's fine. Right, you just say, that's the look we're going for. Oop. I got a little water underneath here. And my stamp is sliding. And lots of butterflies. Okay, we're pretty good, but I'm going to take these off and put my single butterfly on here. And I'm just going to fill in any blank paper I see. I'm filling them in. Oh. Isn't this exciting? So, if you knew about these Nouveau crystal drops, why in the world didn't you tell me about them? I always thought that I'd like to use enamel dots on things, but I didn't want to buy them. They're so expensive, and that maybe the colors won't match exactly like I thought they would, or I'd get like a set with different colors in them and then not use some of them and have all this stuff hanging around. But now I can just make my dots when I'm making my card, and they work really good. And I'm going to tell you about a little trick when we go to use them. Okay, so let's bring this back in. That should be pretty dry now. This is South Florida. It's hot as the dickens here. Alright, we're going to add some grass to ground our jar, and we're going to use the painterly tip, not the fine tip, but the other one. And you just put your tip down and flick up, flick, and that makes it go from thick to pointy on the ends. And let's see, do I want any more? Maybe one here. Maybe one here, or two, or three. That looks good. I think that's plenty of grass. Whoever gets the card will get the idea. And we're going to color in the butterflies. We'll use the Melon Mambo for all the little dots and the edges on this. So I'm just going to go in and very carefully. You could actually use the fine point on these. And the bodies of the butterflies are going to be pink too. Or Melon Mambo, which is a nice bright pink. It's so pretty. So, get all those little dots colored in. And we're going to go over these with the glitter that drops, the ruby slippers. They're really not ruby. It's really not a ruby color. So I think of it, but it's more like a bright red or bright pink, like a bright raspberry pink color. And it looks really nice on the card. So this is a little fiddly, huh? Yeah. But if you didn't see my video about my giveaway, you might want to look for it, because I've got a lot of designer papers that are, well, they're now discontinued, but they're no less beautiful. And I'm going to be giving designer paper away to anyone who uses me as their demonstrator and buys this Sharing Sweet Thoughts. I'll put this sharing, I should finish my sentence, Sharing Sweet Thoughts stamp set before July 31st of 2017. I'll put the URL down below where the video is about that, because there is some fine print. For one thing, you have to buy it before July 31st of this year, it's 2017, and you have to use me as your demonstrator, and if you have to live in the United States. I'm so sorry, all you people who watch my videos that don't live in the States, but that's the way it is. And then I'm going to send you 8 pieces of designer paper that are 5 by 6 inches. And then, in addition to that, I have some papers I bought elsewhere that's really nice. It's a gold, kind of a gold foil, but it's more of a matte, so it's not real shiny, but it's just like kind of glimmery. And I'm sending the same size piece of the 5 by 6 inch piece of each, the gold and the copper, with it. They're really pretty papers. Oh, and they're two-sided too, which you know, for foil papers you don't see that too often. Okay, so now we have the butterflies colored in, and I'm going to do their little trails, where their little flying trails. I'm just going to trace very lightly with a pencil where I want them to go. Let's see, this one I'll have go kind of a curly there. Alright, so once our glitter drops are dry, we can erase those. But now there's a little trick with these. They're nice because it's got a nice clear nozzle on it. You can see the product coming down the nozzle, but you have to watch closely, because what you want to do, let me see if I can do this so you can see it. What you want to do, you have that come down the nozzle, and you want to get a ball going. You want a ball of it on the end of your nozzle here, and you want to touch that to the paper. You touch that ball of the product to the paper, not the tip, and that's how you get a nice glitter dot. So I'm gonna dot all their little pink dots on their wings, just so that our butterflies have a little glitter on them. And if you want, you can do the edges too. I did that on the original card, but you know what? I'm just not feeling it on this one. So it's my card, so I'm not going to do it. So I have all my little dots dotted, and now I'm going to make my little tiny. Ooh! I didn't want to do that. See that? I caught it in time. I could wipe it right off. I'm going to do my tiny little, enamel dots, glitter enamel dots, all along my little trails here. And then they'll just kind of self-level, but they'll keep a nice little, dome shape. Boy, I think I missed a couple dots here on my wings. There we go. So you might think this is nerve-wracking to do this, but I actually find it kind of relaxing. Oh, that one got too big. I'm going to just grab a little bit off of it with my fingernail. Still a little big, but that's alright. I'll just make the other ones a little bigger on this one. I'm still getting used to these. There is a little bit of a learning curve, so it's good to practice on things that aren't real important to you to start out. You need to know just how much to squeeze out here. Now the glitter ones have just a clear background, so I think that if I put glitter on top of ink, like I did with the perfectly clear one, that I could have my glitter dots have a color in the background too. Now wouldn't that be nice? Okay, so I've got all of those all dotted up. Okay, so which is another thing nice about these. You can make little tiny dots or you can make bigger dots. It doesn't matter. And I probably should have waited until I stuck this down on my card to do this, but I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm just going to put some Tombow on here. This is the happy birthday. Oh, and you can't see it because I've got this right out in the center. This is the happy birthday for the inside, and I'm just going to center that on the inside and glue that down. There we go. And normally I would flip this over and put glue dots on, but I got ahead of myself. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue dots down right here. I'm going to put them right where I know it's going to be covered by my card front. And let's see. I'll put one in the center too. Time for new dimensionals. I'm down to one little sheet of them, I think. peel this off. And I want it about a 1/4 inch in from the left hand side and then centered top to bottom. So we have a nice border, big border on this side. So, alright, there we go. So there's our card. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did like it, then be sure to hit the like button down below. If you want to see more of my videos, then hit subscribe. And if you'd like to shop with me for any of the Stampin' Up! Products that you've seen me demonstrate today, then you can do that either through my Facebook page or my website. It's more direct through my website. If you'd go to my Facebook page and click on the shop button. Oh no, you know what? I checked that. It does take me, I believe it does take me directly to the Stampin' Up! Site. I don't know. But either one will work. So y'all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.